Welcome. Sorry, y'all, I forgot I was even muted. Welcome to our show, The Way In tonight. Welcome to The Way In, and welcome to our discussion panel, our open topic and discussion panel tonight, where we're going to hit a really good topic. Y'all, we're going to hit that really good topic. And just in case you forgot, our topic tonight is my love don't cost a thing, my jealousy does. Again, the topic tonight is my love don't cost a thing, my jealousy does. We're going to be talking about two different very good topics where we believe that um, showing about unconditional love, single or in relationships, and then we're also going to be talking about jealousy within relationships, or knowing how to fix your jealousy while being single. All right. So, excuse me, I've been drinking this carbonated, so it made me come out. All right, y'all. So I know it's Valentine's Day. I know that a lot of people have a lot going on, but not everybody's booed up and out. So I thought that maybe I would provide a little bit of entertainment to those who can't get out the house or doesn't have anybody that's alone like myself. So I hope y'all are ready to have a good conversation tonight, y'all. We're gonna have a good open discussion panel. Um, I have just a few little things to kind of introduce to the topic, but I'm not going to really introduce a whole bunch because I really wanted the topic to take its own. So go ahead and invite your friends, get them in here. Let's go ahead and prepare for a wonderful conversation for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready. Give me just a second. All right, y'all, we're about to get this conversation started. I hope y'all are ready. Don't plan on being on very long tonight. Just want to, have this conversation and provide a little bit of Valentine's Day / snow day entertainment for you. So let me get myself in here real quick. Let me see. All right. All right. So how are y'all doing tonight, y'all? If you're in Texas area, then you definitely know what this weather is hitting for. If you're in the Texas area, you definitely know what this weather is hitting for. So definitely want y'all to be safe out there. All right. Definitely want you to be safe. Hitting for. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, y'all. How are y'all doing? Hey, KK, how are you? I see you're in the building bright and early. I see you're in the building bright and early. All right, so there are a couple of different things that I want to talk about. We're going to start on the first half of the conversation, which is really unconditional love, y'all. Our first half of our topic is going to be unconditional love, or in the way that it was on the flyer, my love don't cost a thing. All right. So a lot of times in our singleness or our dating life, our relationship life, um, we tend to put value on a lot of stuff. Um, and so we, I'm sorry, trying to type and talk at the same time, y'all. That's hard. That is hard. All right, here we go. All right, so we tend to put a lot of value on things that have monetary value, those type of things. So what I wanted to do was to go ahead and just bring up the topic. My love don't cost a thing, unconditional love, and how we show that within our relationships, and how to keep that healthy within our relationships. So um, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the conversation, and I wanted to be really free. I didn't want to make it such a planned discussion tonight. I want it to be really free. So I'm gonna, if you would like to join our discussion panel, I'm gonna go ahead and send the invite link. Remember, we are streaming live to YouTube and to Facebook simultaneously. So if you are interested, I'm going to put the link. If you're from my YouTube, I'm not for sure who else here from the YouTube, but if you're from YouTube, then you will definitely see the link if you want to join. And then my Facebook family, I'm going to also put the link in there by simply going to my Facebook And I'm gonna put that link there. You don't have to show your face. If you want to get on camera and share your voice, it makes the conversation a lot easier, a lot fun. But you can also hang out in the chat room and definitely utilize that chat box to help push this conversation right along. So I'm gonna spread that link in there. All right. So I just put the link in there. You just follow those directions and you can join our conversation. So I really want to talk about how our love does not cost a thing. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. And we're going to use a couple of little websites. So I have one, and there are several ways that it says that we can show how our love don't cost a thing in a relationship. All right. So while we're waiting for those who may want to join us, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and talk about those few little topics real quick, just to kind of get us started. These are just topic starters. They're not necessarily what we have to guide to. Okay. So I have a list of things, and there's 17 little ways couples show, and you don't have to be a couple, but we're going to use this one. Couples show that their love doesn't cost a thing. All right. So here's a couple of the ways that was suggested. It says they get up early to make their partner's morning nice and cozy. They text sweet, supportive reminders on the daily. That's one that I know I personally do and or love. The number two is me all the way. They do household chores without having to be asked. They give back massages just because. They say thank you every day. They extend an olive branch after a fight. They make sure their partner eats before they do. How sweet is that? They charge their partner's phone so the battery never gets too low. Now, I've never had that one. They go above and beyond for their partner's family. They tuck their partner in after a long day. They leave little love notes around the house. They whip up their partner's favorite meal. Done that before. Their scavenger hunts and other games that make love fun. They remember the little things like favorite PJs. They know the value of a well-timed wink. They prepare their partner's breakfast. 15 I'm familiar with as well. I've received that a lot. They prepare their partner's breakfast, and they're attentive to their partner's needs in social situations, which is very, very crucial. All right. So those are just a couple of the other things to think about when we're talking about how to show that our love does not cost a thing. All right. So I want to go ahead and open up the discussion panel. And so if you have something you would like to contribute, please let me know. Let me know. Let me know. We're not like I said, it's going to be a very open discussion. So it's up to you. You can hang out in the chat box, or if you look right there, I've already posted in my YouTube and in my Facebook chat box the link. You can join. You don't have to necessarily show your face, but you can definitely, thank you, KK. You can definitely join and let us know what you think and how you think about it. All right. I know it's Valentine's night. Like I said, I know everybody's probably busy or trying to pretend to be. But I know I'm not the only one out here that does not have a set Valentine's. All right. So let's talk about what we do. Hey, Ty, how are you? How are you? We are in this thing and we're having this good old discussion. We're talking about the first half of our conversation today. We're talking about our love doesn't cost a thing, and we're talking about unconditional love, how important unconditional love is, or showing unconditional love, or the role that unconditional love plays, in our single life and in our relationship. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right. So that's where we are. Again, I've put the links if you want to join. You don't have to necessarily get on camera. I just do ask that you at least share your voice with us. Share your voice with us and let us know how you feel about the topics. Unconditional love, y'all. That's where we are right now. We're on the unconditional love. Good. I'm glad. All right. So we're talking about my love doesn't cost a thing and unconditional love, y'all. How important is unconditional love in our relationships? How important is unconditional love? Understanding unconditional love and being single. Okay. I just want to go ahead and bring that up. You said agape love, extremely important. Ah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is very important. Again, I'm dropping the link if you want to join. You don't have to show your face, but hearing your voice will make all the difference. And sharing your opinion will also make all the difference as well. So just understanding, hey, y'all, the people are rolling in. Thank you, KK, for trying to get some of the people in. But I see people are finally starting to just pick up. All right. So we're talking about my love don't cost a thing and unconditional love, y'all. How important is that in our single life, and or if you're in a relationship, how important is that within a relationship? Y'all, if you're in Texas, which is where I'm from, if you're in Texas or Dallas to be more specific, y'all, it's white on the ground, it's snow, it's ice, there's a million and one things going on. So what we ain't got time to do is be trying to sit here and be fake booed up. Okay. We don't have time to be fake booed up. I mean, some people may really have a nice romantic dinner and some stuff going on, but the reality is tomorrow most people will be off due to the holiday and the weather is not that great. So come on, y'all, pick up your drink. I'm just drinking a regular little sparkling water, but pick up your drink and let's have this conversation. My love don't cost a thing. Unconditional love. How important is that? I can speak from my perspective. And again, the link, if you want to join the live conversation, is already in those chat box. You can join. You don't have to share your face. You can definitely share your voice. But if you want to share your face, feel free. I know from my perspective, I mean, unconditional love is something that you cannot replicate. It's not even something you really have to question. Those who are good at showing unconditional love, I mean, really, really can make you feel that unconditional love throughout the relationship or throughout friendship, throughout the family ship. It doesn't matter what kind of ship you're on. All those ships will sail on unconditional love. I mean, for better or for worse. I mean, even in the marriage vows, think about it there, for better or for worse. All right. In sickness and in health, all that is unconditional love. I mean, it's in the vows that people take when they get married, although some of them don't necessarily uphold those. They're in those vows. They're embedded in the fabric of what we call love. All right. And all those things we call love. Unconditional love is definitely one of those things you have to have. Let's see. LD Marie. Hey, LD Marie. It says the devil on the on the ground, and I had to cancel my day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Look, y'all, that weather ain't no punk. I'm sad that you had to cancel your date, but I'm glad that you canceled your date. Okay, I don't need you to have that. What happened to those unsuspecting people in Fort Worth early here in the DFW Metroplex, y'all? We made national headlines for that wreck. It's crazy. So I'm glad that you're playing the safer side of things and canceling a date. You can get that date another day if God says the same, but your life is not extendable. Okay. So I'm glad, but come on, y'all. Let's have that conversation. So you said forgiving self-love, assist in unconditional love for others. Yes, forgiving self-love, assist in the unconditional love for others. And that's very true. Thank you, Ty Washington. I really appreciate that. That is a very true statement. All right. Being able to forgive, being able to have that self love are the things that will assist ourselves in having unconditional love for others, is what she's saying. And I definitely agree with that, y'all. You got to be able to know how to forgive. You got to be able to know how to love thyself first. I see so many people run into relationships that, or try to run into relationships that literally bounce from person to person, from thing to thing. There's never a break in between those relationships. There's never a gap time to self assess, to heal those wounds. Sometimes we literally live by that comment, you get under someone else to get over someone else, right? That although it's a comment that can temporarily confuse the mind and or make you forget, it's not the real way of healing, and it's not going to help you have that unconditional love, because you're going to carry that baggage into another situation, which we'll talk about that later. But you definitely want to be able to take a break between relationships, self-assess, figure out what went right, what went wrong, what could you do better, and making sure that you're able to love, which is also forgiving if there's any issues within the relationship, making sure that you're able to have self-love first, because if you don't love yourself, you can't really love anyone else, right? So I think those are just a few little topics that we could definitely uh, embark upon. We're talking about my love doesn't cost a thing, unconditional love. Another thing I think about as we're waiting for more comments to come in or people to join the panel is that when you think about unconditional love within a relationship, you really have to think about what does that mean? What does that look like? For me, like when I date, a lot of people come with this laundry list, bullet point list of things to do. It's almost like a resume, right? And I think about what is it that I need, what is it that I offer, and what needs can be met from someone else. I don't require a lot of physical things or mental things, not even so much as the emotional, but I know for myself, I really think about how do I progress if I was to step back into a relationship again? Of course, I've not made this a secret. I've said this before on my live. I've been single for 9 years. I'm about to hit my 10th year next year. So this is going into my 9th year of being single. And I've had a lot of self-discovery within that amount of time. Okay. And so it's just learning how to really love thyself, learning what does this person bring to the table? You don't, some people's like, oh, they got to have a car, they got to have a job. All those are wants, but are there needs that you really have to have? So you have to think about what does this person offer to me? And that unconditional love is something they can never be replaced. They may not have a car, they may ride the dart bus every day, but are they loving you and supplying the things that you were lacking as a solo person? That's the thing that really makes a difference for me. Now, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, that's what I look for. I don't look for the best job or the best car, although those things help. And of course, you want to be equally yoked. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, you may find the love of your life who doesn't have half of the list that you require or request. And that's something that's important. I'm going to go to this comment real quick. Hey, Cora, how are you doing? All right. So Cora left us some good nuggets here. Let's read what she says. It says, it's very important to me. I need someone who does have and shows unconditional love. Ooh, really deep. Like me and my BF or boyfriend have been through thick and thin, and we are not married. And it means a lot to me that neither one of us went our own way. We stuck it out together. That's unconditional love to me. We're going on 6 years tomorrow. Yes. What's up? Come on, Cora. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, 6 years. That is beautiful. Man, the weather's not gonna let y'all be great, but that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And you hit a good point. You hit a really good point. I'm gonna expand on that in just a second. Let's see. Self-healthy boundaries and standards helps in love for others. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's true. That is very true. Self-healthy boundaries, standards help in love for others. I'm getting tongue-tied trying to read that myself. All right. So I want to go back to what Cora said. Learning how to stick it out, y'all, or stick with itness. That's something that we don't see a lot of anymore. That's something that we have really lost along the way. And I just put those links back in there if you want to join the panel live, which means you can actually become part of the show visually and or audially. If you want to just use your voice and have your camera off, that's fine. Or if you want to get on and you're not scared, come on and join this panel, y'all. It'll make the conversation even that much more juicier. But I love the chat room as well. Y'all are just a much intricate part of this show. So I want to go back to what Cora said. And so sticking it out, that's the part I want to hit on. Sticking it out. Y'all, relationships go through their ups and their downs, their good and their bad. And I mean, it's just like a marriage. It's just like what the vows in the marriage says, with sickness and health, for better or for worse, to love, do us part, right? Unto death, right? That learning that when you go into a relationship, that is something that you should be going into a relationship with. If you're going to really say, I'm in a relationship, then you really have to think about, can I survive the good and the bad with this person? How do I survive? And learn how to survive that good and bad, how to survive in sickness and in health. You have a lot of people that will bail ship if you become sick, or if you become not so great, or if your health is to decline. Some people don't have that stick with itness to be able to do that. So you really have to really know the person you're with and understand that there are going to be ups and downs in any long lasting relationship, and learning and knowing how to have that stick with itness. All right. To go through the unconditional times. It's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, I can say that my last relationship was not a cakewalk. It had its ups and downs, but the love that I received is something I can never deny. The love was unconditional. The love is still unconditional to the day. We are great friends. Our relationship life did not work out, but our friendship survived the test of times. Now, I'm not going to say it didn't get ugly, it got really nasty, but we learned to have unconditional love regardless of the situations that brought each of us pain. And that is something that takes really, I mean, it takes mountains and hurdles because that's really testing both of you. It tests your maturity, it tests your love for each other, it tests your willingness to forgive, which is sometimes what we don't have, which is why we're jumping from relationship and running from door to door and bed to bed, but we're really not learning how to forgive and self-assess. So that's the part of that comment I want to really hit on. But thank you so much, Cora and Ty, for your comment. You said finding balance builds love muscles for others. Man, now you're talking truth. Finding balance builds love muscles for others. That is a fact. You got to find balance, and that's where I feel that we have not, we as people, especially in this technology driven world and social media driven world, we have really gotten away from. Y'all, I cannot tell you, and I've been doing online dating, I've said this before, for years, when before it was really popular. I mean, when you still had those AOL chat rooms and all those rooms like that, when we still were on dial up, I was into the online dating thing. I never was a go out and learn how to date somebody type of person. It just was awkward and weird to me. And maybe I was ahead of my time, and maybe I'm just awkward and weird. I don't know. But I have always been into online dating, and I never had a problem with it. What I do have a problem with is the expectations over time has really gotten to a point of no return. I mean, we're not finding those love muscles, as she says. Okay, we're looking for the physical. We're looking for the aesthetic, the outwards appearance. We're not really digging into the deeper. And a lot of times, if you've been in online dating, I'm sure you can concur in what I'm saying, that there's a block. If I can't get past your physical, then I don't want to get to know your insides. But y'all, some of the people that will love us the best are the people we're not necessarily attracted to the most. Can I get an amen in that? Some people that will treat us the best, that we will naturally gel with and be compatible with, are the people that we would never look to physically. The things that we seek out physically a lot of times will bring us the most issues because we're only looking at the physical. We never got to the inside part. So by the time we start to really get on the inside and get past the physical, it's too late. we we already have started to see the issues that are going to arise or that has arisen, and now it's time to run for the border, and that's where we're gonna not have those love muscles for everyone else. I That's my interpretation of that statement. I hope I'm correct, Miss Washington, in saying that statement. So again, really good topic, y'all, showing that your love does not cost a thing. I want to go back really quick to this list that I had put up here. And I want to go back to a number. It was a number that stuck out to me while those comments are still rolling in. One of the comments that came in was they text sweet, supportive reminders on the daily. This one right here is really important to me. I'm going to actually blow that up a little bit just so it can stick out a little bit better. They text sweet, supportive reminders on the daily. Y'all, I cannot tell you how much that, at least for me, that is a thing. Okay, that is a thing for me. Learning how to text those supportive reminders. I mean, just hello, good morning, how are you? And maybe we may not speak for the rest of the day. And then we go in, and then all of a sudden, you get that. I hope you had a good day. May your night be blessed. Those type of text messages. Those things, I do them, but I also love receiving those. Those right there are nuggets and jewels that really mean the most to me, because if you care about my arise and you care about my sunset, then that means that you really care about me as a person. You can text me a lot of stuff throughout the day that has frivolous meaning or lack thereof. But if you're really showing me on a daily, you're one awake, you want me to be the first thing you hear, or you want to be the first thing that I hear, and the last thing that we go to bed. Those are the signs of unconditional love, or showing your love does not cost a thing. Those are the signs of showing true genuineness in the relationship. All right, or in the beginnings of a relationship. What do y'all think? Do you think number two is an important step? Let me blow that back up. Showing sweet, supportive reminders on the daily, is that something to you that you feel is important? Is that something that you feel is something that we um, that is needed on the relationship end? All right. What do y'all think? I'm gonna give you a minute to kind of comment back. Do you feel, again, the question was, do you agree or disagree with number two? Is number two important to you? Is it something that you feel is definitely necessary? Mm-mm. I see the people coming in and out, up and down. I hope they're not getting kicked out. I know sometimes it'll act stupid. Let's see. All right. So while we're waiting on those comments to come through, again, it's very important for those, again, supportive reminders on the daily, those sweet little texts, the little good morning calls, the good night calls. Those are easy way to show that your love doesn't cost a thing. There was one more thing that really uh, touched touched me. Let's see. Let's talk about number nine. That they go above and beyond for their partner's family. Here's another way that this list says that you can show unconditional love or that your love doesn't cost a thing. A lot of times we, as people say, you're not there for the family, you're there for the person. And that's true. A lot of times you're not there, you're not marrying or you're not in a relationship with the family. So technically you don't have to have a serious closeness. But let's be truthful with each other. For a lot of relationships to truly survive the test of time, there's going to have to be some type of understanding between you and the family. And that means you're going to have to become part of the family if the family is close, especially. Now, if the family is distant, that's another story in its own. But I don't see personally how you can have a successful relationship and not have any ties with the family in some formality. And going above and beyond does not mean giving money and doing a whole bunch of chores. It just means that the communication line is there. You're really there to communicate and you're making yourself accessible to the family as far as being a part of the relationship, but not necessarily you having to do a lot or spend money. Now, I want to clarify that. You don't have to be used by the family, but you definitely want to leave yourself the opportunity to have those connections and those bonds with the family so that it does make the relationship last longer and it makes it a lot easier, especially if, again, there's a close knit relationship between that family. Okay, between the family. So number nine is another important one, going above and beyond with the partner's family. And again, above and beyond does not mean being used or giving out money or any of that. It just means going above and beyond to try to be a member or an associated with the family alongside of the lines of relationship, which is very important. There's one more I want to point out, and then I'll be ready to turn the topic into our other half. All right, let's see. Da, da, da. All right, number 15 is one that really hit home with me. I saw a comment come in. Oh, yes, ma'am. All right, Corey came back with a comment. She said, let me Okay, she says, I mean, since I met him, we have had this bond. Neither one of us had anything. I had just come from Chicago. Really? Oh, wow. And just got abandoned by who I thought I loved. Wow. But it was just in infatuation. He had just gotten out of a bad relationship and was living in a hotel. I was close to being put out on the street and we got together. Then he went to jail. I got put out and moved in with another friend. Long story short, we have lived in hotels for years and we have finally pulled ourselves up and out of the ditch by supporting. Okay. Oh, wow. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I did. Let's see. Hold on. Each other. Now we have an apartment and car and we are still there for each other. Unconditional love. No, you're fine. Sorry for the book I wrote. No, 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 no. You're fine. I really, really appreciate that comment. So that's a good example of unconditional love, y'all. This is literally a life, a really good example of a in current situation where she's showing that she's been through unconditional love with someone, coming out of a relationship. Y'all were both coming from broken relationships, needing to be healed. Y'all found each other, and through that, y'all were able to heal together with each other. And a part of that was sticking through the bad. Y'all weathered the bad with each other. So you've seen, there's a statement that goes, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you'll never get my best. And I feel like that statement is literally what you just said in this in your response. That y'all saw each other at your worst. Okay, y'all were struggling together. Y'all went through this time of rebuilding and re getting your foundation in life. And y'all were in the ditches and in the trenches together, but together y'all got out of that and y'all pulled each other up by the bootstraps. And now y'all are actually on top of on top of your situation and whatever that looks like for y'all, but y'all are definitely there. Okay, that's true. Good. I'm glad that I'm hitting the home run there. So yes, that is literally the comment. If you can't handle me at my worst, you'll never get my best. And I feel like a lot of times when we see the worst of someone or the bad side or the ugly side of someone, we all of a sudden want to run. We retreat like we're in war. But that's really when you got to stick through it. It's going to get ugly. It's going to be nasty. There's going to be fights. But if you can handle me through all of that bad and you can really still love me unconditionally throughout all of that nastiness, through all the ugly, through all the brokenness and the financial issues and whatever else that looks like in your situation, when I get back on the ground, when my feet are planted again, man, is that not going to be a beautiful thing? Man, that story right there is very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that, Cora. That's a very inspiring story because that is what I mean. I mean, I've been through a relationship. Oh, excuse me. I felt it coming, y'all. I was trying to hold it. But I've been through a relationship, my last one, where I had a car and the person didn't. Where I had a financial job. That person, was not financially stable. I mean, there were so many unbalances there. However, however, we were able to what I needed emotionally was being met. I didn't need your money. I didn't need your car. I didn't need any of that. And I still don't in this day. What I needed was an emotional stability, and that person provided all of those things and more for me. And that's still, and I think in my time today, I think that still would be what I was looking for. I need the emotional side, someone who is emotionally equipped to handle, those moments when I'm vulnerable, when I'm tired, when I'm burnt out, because I am a rock to a lot of my friends and my family. Not always everyone's rock, but I am a rock to many. So I get moments where I literally go through those spells of being broken or just frustrated with life. And you got to be emotionally able to handle, that when someone who is so strong becomes so weak and vulnerable, that can be a lot for a person. And they don't understand it because we lash out differently. Okay. You said, and we went through all of that. Yes, ma'am, I bet y'all did. But it's the blessing that y'all have crossed that other side. And that's what the unconditional love comes from. And I'm so glad y'all were able to find that. You said, if that person can't be here when you struggle, don't be here for the success. Man, but that's what people want. That's what people want. They want to be there when you're here in life. They want to be there when you're on the platform and on the stages and you're receiving the awards and you're getting all those benefits that come with. But when you were on the other side of that line and you were just a ticket taker, they didn't want that because you didn't supply what they thought they wanted. You were not on the list. You didn't meet the requirements of the resume list that they needed to date, not knowing that you would sometime or soon be great. And that's the problem I find with, especially with this microwave relationship society today. We don't want to wait for the process. We want a popcorn relationship. You put it in the microwave, it pops up in a couple of minutes. But if you ever cook some real good popcorn, you put those kernels on the stove or in that old popcorn machine and you have to put that butter in there and you have to wait for that thing to heat up and stir that stuff so it don't burn while it's popping, then there's a process in really popping old school popcorn versus this new bagged microwave version of popcorn, right? If we grew up on that, that's a great analogy to think about it. We want that microwave bag of popcorn. We don't want to go through the problems of really putting those kernels out and put that butter on and churning that thing and making sure they don't stick and they don't burn. We don't want to go through the process of all the work it takes to really make that popcorn pop. I'm just saying. So that's a really good one. Thank you, Cora, again. Thank you, Ty. Yes, that couldn't hold that sneeze in. It was hard. And that's what he is to me, my rock. Yes, ma'am. Amen for the rocks. Can we get an amen for the rocks in the building? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Get amen for the rocks. I have witnessed that, in the little bits that I've seen myself. Definitely I can see that he is a rock there. And it's a blessing to have a rock, because we don't find those rocks that in this day and time, I don't think. I think again we're in that microwave relationship phase, and I hate it. It's not for me. It is not for me. He said, "No, I don't need no popcorn. I need Doritos left out something." Yes, ma'am. Yes, get some Doritos, something else that's strong. I get it. I get it. Yes, I couldn't think of a faster analogy. I just popcorn came to my mind. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. But yes, that is a great one. Yes, something stronger than the popcorn. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, you said my husband don't care about my past and past relationships, and we built our unconditional love through trust building, open communication, and faith in God. Yes, ma'am. He had everything, and I had only myself, just starting over. But we built a loving life together, even with the tests and challenges of learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. Yes, ma'am. That's again another great example of unconditional love going through the rebuilding stage. Sometimes you may be unequally yoked at the time. One person may be here and the other may be here, just as an example. And sometimes if that love is unconditional and you see the worth of that person and you know that there's good bones, then sometimes you're going to have to wait till that balance becomes here, because we know we're all one day away from a shift, right? And now you could be here and that person could be here. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot in the society. I mean, it could be a car crash. I mean, we've seen people go from being sports players to having one car wreck, and it changed their whole world. It rocked their foundation. I've known several people like that, and the relationships suffered and or died. I've seen a few that survived, but I've seen more than enough. Many of them have changed over the course of the time. That person wasn't willing to give the unconditional love that was needed. It was too much, because now what was a luxury became a burden. And they don't want the burden of the relationship. They only want the luxury. And that's when you really see the person for who they are and whose they are, right? Very, very good. All right. So that's just something we're there. Hey, hon, how are you doing? We're having this good old conversation right here. Again, I'm just going to put those links in case anybody's come in and that wants to join the conversation. You don't have to, but I'm just definitely putting those links in case you want to join. You can come live. You don't have to be on camera, but we would love to see your face. But hearing your voice will mean the more to us, or you can stay right there in those chat boxes on Facebook and YouTube, and we can definitely share your comments. I know I love it. I love these type of conversation, and we have been way too long for a conversation. I needed this. This is a good release for myself. You say exactly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying, y'all. Look, I'm not no relationship expert. I've been through my ups and downs. I've been the mean person in a relationship. I can be honest with that. I've been a broken person in a relationship. I've definitely had needed time to grow and heal for myself. And through the 9 years, I can definitely say I have found who I am today. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect. I'm definitely going to make a lot of mistakes. So there's still things that I need to grow from. But I'm so honest in the fact that I know that I've gone through the process, and I've gone through the healing, and I know how to hold myself accountable and to hold the other person accountable within the situation, so that moving forward, when I am blessed to be back in a situation of a relationship or a situationship or whatever that case may look like for me, I know that I will be able to provide the unconditional love that is needed to go through whatever those roads are that I must walk upon, and that journey that we must take. So definitely something we want to have. Thank you again. All right, y'all. So again, we've been talking about my love don't cost a thing, which equals unconditional love, which is the base of the topic. My love doesn't cost a thing, showing that unconditional love within your relationships. And we're going to get ready to wind this part down and get ready to switch over to the second half of our topic for tonight. All right. Good night. Thank you for being a part and contributing. You left some great nuggets for us. So you have a good night. Be safe. Please be safe. And thank you again. I really appreciate you, man. You left us some good nuggets there. Some really good nuggets. All right. We're going to get ready to switch into our second half. So as I'm getting ready to switch over, again, if you have any other statements regarding the unconditional love, continue to leave those in the comments. I will address them as I see them. we're just going to go ahead and switch to our second part. So um, I'm switching my banner. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to put my banners up. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right. All right. Here we go. Uh, I was going to get ready to sing, didn't I? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to switch that topic. I got everything up that I need. All right, so I'm gonna take that banner down. All right, and I'm gonna just make sure I don't miss any comments. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I think that's all the comments I see so far. If they can trickle in late, because there's sometimes a delay in me receiving those comments, then I will address those as they come up. Let's switch to the second half of our conversation, which is my jealousy does. Okay. And this is jealousy within a relationship. Now we've talked about the unconditional side of that. Now we definitely want to talk about the jealousy side of that. I think that's a two-headed dragon, but it's coming from the same place, and we definitely want to make sure that we address that as needed. So jealousy within a relationship, y'all. What is your take on that? Before I spearhead the part of the conversation that I want to lead it to, but of course we can go wherever the roads may travel. I definitely want to talk about jealousy within a relationship. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix the little fuzz that I saw. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So jealousy within a relationship. All right. There's several things I really want to bring up about this topic that I really think that is unique and different. And again, it's so much I want to say, but I'm gonna try to keep it on a surface level, only because I don't want not necessarily I'm worried about myself, but I don't want everybody to have to expose their own truths. So I want to keep it surface level, but definitely want to dig some nuggets out of it. I can say for me, through my past relationships, jealousy, definitely at my younger age, my teenage to early 20 age, but more my teenage years, jealousy definitely was something that I had to learn. I had to learn not to have. It is an inherent thought. We want to definitely have territory, but I think we have to learn that as people, you cannot treat another person as property. And I'm gonna say that again. As people, you cannot treat another person as property. That is one of the hardest things to do. And it's something that we definitely want to make sure that we steer clear of. We don't want to treat someone as property. And a lot of times we find ourselves doing such things. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean. Let me read this comment real quick. You said, with the love bank account, unconditional love adds, but jealousy will cause a bankruptcy. Man, come on, Miss Washington, drop them nuggets. That's what I'm talking about. With the love bank account, man, first off, I love the analogy. Unconditional love adds, but jealousy will cause a bankruptcy. Man, jealousy literally will cause a foreclosure in your relationship if you don't know how to control that. That is so true. There is a healthy jealousy and a unhealthy jealousy. Talk about it. That is so true. There is definitely a healthy and unhealthy level of jealousy, and we have to be definitely minded of that. Sorry, y'all. My phone was going off. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to make sure it wasn't nothing important. Somebody's watching me. I'm sorry. That was a message, y'all. I'm sorry. I have to watch. Okay, so what I wanted to say and add to the conversation was, let's talk about jealousy. I know from my most recent, which was not necessarily recent, but it's been 9 years almost of my singleness. But in my relationship that was 8 years long, I was in an 8-year relationship, and within that 8-year relationship, jealousy is something that I had to learn not to have. And for the most part, I did really good. But at the same time, um, 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 but for the same time, I I did show signs of jealousy, and it was very unhealthy. So I wanted to first start this part off by saying you and who you date, your partner in the situation, whatever that person may look like or be for you, you have to know how to allow that person to have a separate life from you. A lot of times, the first beginning signs of jealousy is not knowing how to be a separate entity. You came together as one union, but within a union, there are still two entities. And we have to learn how to treat those entities as separate roads. Those two roads will still go their own direction, but they meet and they do travel that journey together. But there are still stops along the way that each person may not travel. And we have to be okay with that. And I want to give a quick example. Then I'm gonna go to the comment that I saw pop up. And so part of what I'm saying when I speak that is that example. In my last relationship, although it's not as recent, what I did notice is I was okay with letting my ex go out, party, club, hang out with the friends, and do all that stuff on the weekends. That's not my story. If you know me, I've never been a club person. I'm not a party person. I don't do those type of things. It's just not my life story. But I was not against my partner being able to go and do that. That's something that I had to understand, that we have our separate lives. Also, in the 8 years that we were together, we never lived together. We had our own separate places. Now, we may have spent a lot of nights together, but we had our own separate places. Matter of fact, I can speak now, decades of life, that I've never lived with someone that I dated. I've never had that experience. I don't know what it means like, because I value my independence. I still value my alone time, and I like to have that. So it's going to be a really hard shocker for me when I actually get to a point where I will live with someone that I date, because I never have experienced it in my life, and I don't know what that looks like. So I know there's going to be a learning curve for me when I get to that point. Let me hit this topic real quick. This comment. Jealousy is self-internal, undealt with issues that can spill over into any relationship and cause huge damages, needing major repairs to move forward. Man, come on with the nuggets. Come on with the nuggets. Let me read that again, y'all, because that's a lot. That was a lot. Jealousy is self-internal, undealt with issues. Man, that's truth. That can spill over into any relationship and cause huge damages, needing major repairs to move forward. That is very factual in the statement. And I appreciate you for that nugget. And you gave me another one. You say individuality is imperative to build interdependency. Come on with the big words within a relationship. All right. Individuality is imperative to build interdependency within a relationship. That is so true. We have to know how to be one, to be an individual before we can be a union, right? And being a part of that union also makes us understand that we still have to have our individual pathways to be able to grow, okay? And that's how you're going to know if that relationship is going to survive the test of time. To go back to what I was saying, and thank you again for those nuggets, Miss Washington. To go back to those things that I was saying, I've never lived with someone that I dated, and as a consequence of that, I know that I will have to learn how to do that. That's going to be the learning curve for me, because I've never went through that. Now, I spent nights and done sleepovers and all that kind of stuff, but never have I lived in the same atmosphere 24/7, 7 days a week with a person. So that's different. And I see so many people run into, we've been dating 2 months now, we live together, and we see how that ends up sometimes. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not so much. But I see how those people have really. I see how people run into living situations, and for me, that's an uncomfortable state for me, because I shy away from that, because I enjoy my independency from that person, and I think they would enjoy the same. So being able to know how to let someone still be free, go out, hang out. If they were going to the strip clubs before they met you, then they're probably going to go to the strip clubs after they meet you. You can't change a person and expect them to drop everything they know just because y'all got into a relationship. There will be healthy sacrifices. Let me give a caveat. There will be healthy sacrifices within a relationship. However, you cannot expect a person to change all of their daily habits just because they got into a relationship. That is a fact. And when you start pushing a person to let go of everything that they're used to and their norm, that is where you're going to get the most pushback in your relationship. Okay. So if that person was dangling from the pole before they met you, you better be aware that they're probably going to dangle from the pole after they meet you. Okay. They're probably going to dangle from the pole after they meet you. They may not do it as often. And there may be some boundaries there that y'all may have to come up with, but you have to understand that that person's not going to change every little detail just because they got into the union of a relationship with you. Okay, that is something we have to think about. So we definitely want people to definitely understand that jealousy will come, and we have to build, to get back to the topic at hand, we want people to understand that jealousy is going to happen. It is a natural part of a relationship and the growth, but you got to learn how to be trusting. The trust comes through the individual paths that you travel within the relationship. Because here's my real belief on this before I get to these little nuggets I want to leave you with. Here's my real thought about this. If a person's going to cheat, there's two ways it's going to happen. One, they're going to cheat because they were going to do it anyway, or two, you push them to cheat. You push them to cheat. That's just the reality. Either they're going to cheat because that is the fiber of who they are, or they're cheating because you've pushed them to that point somehow. Now, you may not agree with me, and that's okay. That is my honest belief. There are two ways you're going to have jealousy within a relationship. If we're talking about cheating, or if we're talking about emotional abandonment, or any of those topics that come with the jealousy aspect, there are two ways that's going to happen. Either one, they're going to do it because that's the fiber of who they are, or two, they're doing it because they were pushed there somehow by you, whether it was directly or indirectly meant to be. And I've experienced that. And part of it, I believe, I pushed that person to do it. And that's my honest truth. Now, it took me years to get to that understanding and some growing and some maturing. But once I got to that point of understanding that some of that was my fault, then I was able to accept it and learn from it and figure out, where was I showing the signs of the jealousy? Where was I becoming jealous or controlling, or trying to dictate your every move in every way? And that's something that you cannot do in a relationship. All right. I'm going to pull this next piece up. I want to share a few of these quick little topics, and then we'll take some more comments from our watchers. And thank everyone here that's watching us tonight, that is here in this conversation on a good Valentine's Day. I know it's not easy. You could be anywhere, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I appreciate that. All right. So we have psychologists explain how to be less jealous in your relationship. Okay. Psychologists are going to suggest how to be less jealous within your relationship. Hold on. I see that I'm blacked out on the screen. Let me find myself. Why am I black? Uh-oh, something gonna happen. Oh my, we're having some technical difficulties, y'all. We're having some technical difficulties. Hold on just a second. Let me try to fix this real quick. I'm sorry about that. Let me try to fix this real quick. If you can hear me, give me just a second. I want to try to fix the issue that's happening. All right, we're back. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. All right, it was giving me an issue. I had to fix that. I don't know what happened, but we fixed it and we're back. All right. So let's continue this conversation. So we're talking about the jealousy aspect. And I was just about to drop you some nuggets. Hold on, let me try to fix the fuzziness that's happening in my backdrop right now. I don't know why it's starting to do that. All right, forgive the fuzziness. I'm sorry. We're having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna push through. We're gonna persevere. All right. So as I was saying, I was about to drop some nuggets for you here, and let me go ahead and do that. So we're looking at a couple. We're going to look at 11 tips that psychologists explain how to be less jealous in your relationship. Okay, so we talked about the unconditional love aspect. Now we're going to talk about the jealousy aspect. All right. So here are 11 tips from psychologists that are supposed to help us understand how to be less jealous within our relationship. All right. So the first one is consider your own insecurities. All right. We want to consider your own insecurities. Now, that is a big bite, okay? Because a lot of times we don't want to look at the things that make us insecure. But in reality, that's one of the first steps to learning how to release ourselves of our jealousy, our jealous tendencies. We have to know our own securities, okay? And we have to be okay with knowing what those are and what those triggers look like for us. Let me go to the comment. Usually when someone is jealous, it is they have guilt or currently doing something wrong or unforgiven past. Man, now that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. A lot of times when we are showing jealous signs, let me bring myself up a little bigger here. A lot of times when we're showing jealous signs, either we are doing something wrong, or we've done things wrong in our past that are triggering us to believe that someone else will do the same thing to us. Think about all the men. Okay, real quick. Men, I'm about to make us mad. I'm about to probably piss you off because I'm going to say this. Think about all the men that get the daughter and they become the overprotective dad. I mean, they're with the sawed-off rifle. They got the shotgun, the pistol. They go through the 21 question and the grilling of a guy when their daughter gets to that stage because they want to overprotect their daughter. But the reality of that is a lot of times that comes from things that they know that they've done as a man to other women. And so the protectiveness is trying to shield their daughter from what they've already done to the daughters of someone else. Okay, and that could also work if you are on the LGBT side. You may have done that to someone else's son and or daughter, depending on whichever one you are, and now you're trying to make sure that when you get a child, that your child does not face those same adversities. And that's something that we really have to think about as we go forward. All right. Thank you for that nugget. That is true. So we want to go back to again our topics here. We want to think about the psychologists and what they're suggesting. These 11 tips. The first one is to consider your own insecurities. All right. Knowing what your own insecurities are. Consider where your trust issues stem from. How many times do we really stop and consider where did the trust issue start for me or for you? We don't really slow down to really know where those trust issues initially stem from. And that's an important piece. You got to know, where did my trust issue start? We got to get down to the nitty gritty. This is where it's called doing the work. Hold on, I got to get big for this. This is what we call doing the work. When you're getting ready to do some self-evaluations, when you're getting ready to really assess yourself before entering another relationship, or if you're in another relationship and you uncover some insecurities or uncover some trust issues, you got to get to the nitty gritty. This is where the work comes in. Where did the trust issue come from? You got to be able to figure that out, pinpoint the beginning of that trust issue. When did you realize that this started to become an issue for you? All right, so that's something that we really want to consider. All right, let me take myself back down. And so now we want to consider what those trust issues are. Our step 3 from the psychologist says, develop more realistic expectations for your relationship. Can I get an amen somewhere in the air, to the left, to the right, high five over here, high five over there? Develop more realistic expectations for your relationship. A lot of times we set a tone of unrealism. We don't set real expectations upon our relationships. Therefore, we have already doomed our relationships to fail. They're doomed to fail before we even got started because the realistic expectations, thank you, the realistic expectations have not been met. We never set something that was realistic, all right, within the tone of our relationship. Thank you. Thank you for the virtual high five. All right. We have to set realistic expectations for your relationship. You got to be real. What can and what cannot happen? Hey, honey, how you doing? Welcome to the conversation. Don't be scared. You can always join. You can be in the chat box. I've also dropped links if you want to come in and give your piece. For those who are dropping in, I'm putting those links within the chat box. You can share your face or you can just share your voice, but I'm just putting those in there. All right. All right, so we're on step 3 of what our psychologist says: develop more realistic expectations for your relationship. Step 4: use the rubber band technique. All right, now this one I'm going to have to read a little bit about so you can understand what that is. What is the rubber band technique, you may ask? Put a rubber band around your wrist, and each time you start feeling yourself slip into jealousy, snap the rubber band. Man, that's like when you put the dog collar leash on there. Good, I'm glad to hear that, Jay. So that's like when you put that dog collar leash on yourself and you get the shock in yourself, right? That's kind of going to be the same thing. All right, that's going to be the same thing. When you feel like you're going to, and I've seen people wear rubber bands before and they slap themselves a lot. That's a good way to stop yourself, because what it's doing is making you self-aware and self-accountable for realizing your jealousy when it happens and when you're popping into a jealous moment. Okay, that's really holding you accountable and making you understand, hey, I realize I'm jealous. Let me pop myself right here. Or I'm getting jealous tendencies and I need to control that. That's a self-accountability piece. Real simple, but it's together. You said get yourself right together. Right. It'll get yourself right together real quick. Popping that rubber band, them things hurt. Okay. So that's step 4 from our psychologist in learning how to deal with jealousy. All right. Our step 5: be open and honest with yourself. I believe is what it's supposed to say. It says your soul. Your soul. I'm trying to make sure that's not short for something. Be open and honest with yourself about your feelings. Okay. That's another one that we really have to really consider. Are we being open and honest about our feelings? Are we really telling the truth about how we feel? And do we express that in our single life or in our relationship life? Do we express that? And how are we expressing? Are you just getting mad? Are you shutting down? Are you giving a silent treatment? I've done all those things. So I know what that looks like because I've been that person. Or are you learning to open up and express how you feel? You may have some emotion behind it, but to say, this is what's making me feel this way. This is how I feel, and this is why I feel that way. And then learning how to come up with a resolution or solution to the problem. All right. So being open and honest about your feelings. Step 6, they tell us to talk it out with a friend or with a professional. Man, I know that I've been that friend for a lot of people where we can talk through the problem. And sometimes I don't always get it right. Sometimes, I don't always get all the details right. But I've been that person where they can talk it out with me, and I try to help them through the steps and understand where they're right and wrong. And I try to be an honest person. I hold my friend accountable in their own relationship. Or sometimes I suggest, man, you need a professional, because what you're going through is beyond my knowledge and reach. You need someone who can really reach deeper than what I know how to reach with. I can be honest and truthful with you, and I can hold you accountable. But sometimes we need to know when to talk to that friend, and sometimes we have to know when to talk to that professional. All right, let's continue. We're almost done with these steps, and then we'll continue taking some feedback from y'all. What about number 7? Practice gratitude. How often do we practice that within our own relationship? Practicing gratitude, learning to show that we are grateful and we're thankful and being positive within our relationship. That practice of gratitude. I know that used to be a struggle for me in my younger years. How about consider ways jealous is negative affecting you? How about considering ways that jealousy is negatively affecting you? I'm sorry, I should make that bigger. How about considering those ways that jealousy is negatively affecting you? Or my favorite, this is something that I actually would do and didn't realize that was an actual technique. Write it out. Write your insecurities and your frustrations related to jealousy. Write out the things that really bother you. Writing it out releases those emotions and it puts it on a piece of paper. I've even had friends that have written out letters and have given the letters to the prospective person that they feel like they've been hurt from. And you have to understand now there's a good release because that person can take that one or two ways. They can read it or they may never open it or address the issues that you have. But the writing it out part was not about their reaction. The writing it out was for you to release all those issues so that you can now say that I have cleansed myself of that. And whether the person reads it, responds to it, or however that may happen, where they never look at it at all, you wrote it and you got out whatever it is that you wanted to say through writing, which is a lot of times stronger than words. So writing it out, that's a technique that I definitely will attest to that I am great at. All right. So our last two steps, focus on the good versus the bad. Focus on the good versus the bad. That is a really important one. In a relationship, sometimes we can harp on all the bad things that are wrong. This didn't happen, and that didn't happen, and this didn't go that way, and that didn't happen, and you always did this, and you don't ever get this right, and you don't whatever. We can make a complaint about everything. But how about we take time and stop looking at all the things that are not right? And I'm speaking to myself when I say this because I've been victim of this. I've been the person who's done this. How about we take that time and we really start looking at the positives of what the relationship offers, the positives of what this person brings, the positive of everything that we have going on? That's a really good note. Sometimes we focus on the bad too much and we need to focus more on the good. What good do we see coming? And accept that versus all the things that is not happening how we deem necessary. All right. And our final step, and then again, those comments, I'm gonna start looking at these comments. Stop holding on to jealousy. All right. Now, there's a caveat to this. Unless you're certain your partner is cheating, you best bet is to try to let go of the jealousy that's weighing you down. All right. So unless you know for sure that you have good accusation that your partner is cheating or doing something that would make you jealous, because it doesn't always have to be cheating. Stop holding on to jealousy, especially if it's coming from another source or an outside source that has nothing to do with the person that you are thinking about. All right. All right, guys, I just gave you 11 psychology tips about releasing ourselves of jealousy within a relationship. Let's get some feedback on what you think. Which ones were good nuggets for you? Which ones do you think are something that we could really take and run with as we go through the topic, y'all? I'm really sorry about the little stuff on the side. That's irritating. All right. So think about that. Did you get some good nuggets from those 11 tips, y'all? I know for myself, I held myself accountable in some of those tips because I know that I have been a violator of those tips previously. All right. Any feedback as we get ready to get to our close for this for this conversation? And again, thank you all for really coming in and having this conversation with me. I know it's almost 10 o'clock. And yes, I know it's Valentine's Day. And I know there's ice and snow if you're in the Dallas Metroplex area. But I definitely wanted to, and I could not continue to not have a conversation. I thought tonight would be a good one because I know there are many people like myself who are at home alone and that are needing to have a conversation. So we definitely want to go through that. You said this has been very good. Ah, thank you. Thank you. You know, I really do try. I try to reach the level of greatness that I have. And I think these conversations are healthy and they're very supportive and strong. And I think we need to have more conversations, y'all, especially, anybody can be watching this, but especially in the Black community. I don't feel like we talk about our issues enough, y'all. And I think that stems from a lot of things. We've been told to be quiet. We've been told what goes home stays at home. Don't tell your business. We really shy away from these types of things, but really we need to talk about them, y'all. Part of the healing that we need, especially of people of color and melanin, we need to talk about the issues. And it is not the fussing and the fighting that people see on World Star and YouTube and Facebook. It's having these conversations, being able to have your opinion, instead hold yourself in truth and know that we can hold ourselves accountable and grow from it and learn that we're not the only ones who walk that journey. A lot of us have crossed the same path, but we'll never know it because we have been silenced from our rituals and our morals and our vows from times before we were even born. That's just part of the things we've learned throughout our Black community. It's Black History Month. We got to start killing some of those bad stereotypes. It's the best time to talk about love, unconditional love, on the most glorified love day, right? Right. And I don't celebrate Valentine's. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's never been I'm not a big holiday celebrator anyway, but definitely not Valentine's. I feel like it's a made-up day for people to make more money. And that's really what it is. These businesses are making more money. Think about it. You had Thanksgiving, you had Christmas and New Year's that all come back to back within weeks of each other. And then you don't really have another holiday, and then all of a sudden, woo, Valentine's Day. It's our day to love. It's our day to show we love someone at the beginning of a year that's only about 6 or 7 weeks in. All of a sudden, this is the love day of the year where we're supposed to show our love. What about the other 365 days of the year? Why do we not show our love every day? And why do we not show that love throughout the year? Every day should be Valentine's Day. And it looks different every day. But why just that one day? I've always wondered that. That's just my personal opinion. It's a marketing scheme, and that's what I truly believe. I don't celebrate it. I don't buy it. It's not for me. And I think if we really unmask some of the things that we see in Valentine's Day, you will understand that. All right. You said, especially in the Black homes and communities. Yes, ma'am. We definitely have to make sure we unmask that stuff. Okay. Unmask those issues from the Black community. Love overcomes hate if it's dealt with. That is true. Love definitely will overcome the hate if it's dealt with and dealt with appropriately. So we have to make sure that we talk about it so we know how to love more and hate less. All right. Definitely want to do that. Thank you for all these nuggets. I don't get with any of the monthly money robbing days. Yes, because the businesses are making money. I mean, buku money. Like, we know Black Friday, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, businesses literally can make 50% of their full year's worth of money in just that couple of weeks' time. How weird is that? Have y'all ever really done your research on that? Like, your Walmarts and all your big corporations, that Christmas time when everybody's giving and showing love and all of that stuff, man, many businesses make almost half of their yearly revenue in just that little month or a month and a half worth of time, just because that's what we've been trying to do. Buy people. Think about all the promotions. They're promoting you to buy and get this and get that and show your love this way. The promotions are all persuasive. They're all trying to get you to do something, and we fall for it. We fall for it hard too, man. We do. And Black business, y'all, not saying no other culture does it. That's not what this show is about. But just saying, Black businesses, we spend a lot of money, and it's literally trackable. Although we're not that big part of the population, we are a small populated part of this population of America. But Black money drives a lot of business because we spend a lot because we're trying to meet this level or show this or give our love. And we spend a lot of our money, y'all. And if you've ever watched Black people pull out of a business, you've seen businesses take a big hit, y'all. Minorities, and not just Black, but brown, Latin, brown skins, Asians. The minority money is a big, big dollar sign to a lot of these businesses. Just keep that in mind. Yes, every day should be Love Day. Amen and amen. Every day should be Love Day. And yes, love is is it internal? Oh, internal. Okay. It's I got you. Love isn't internal. Okay. Eternal. I think it's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say eternal, not internal. Eternal. Okay. So definitely that is true, y'all. That is definitely true. We really want to make sure that we learn how to show our love, y'all. We want to make sure that we learn how to deal with jealousy within a relationship. So again, y'all, our topics tonight was My Love Doesn't Cost a Thing, where we talk about unconditional love. And then we talked about the other half of the topic of this live, my jealousy does, which is jealousy within a relationship. So we talked about two total opposite ends: unconditional love and then the jealousy. All right. And in that jealousy, we could also talk about envy. We didn't even touch that one. We could talk about the envy because that does populate within relationships as well. Okay. Okay. Eternal. Yes. I just want to make sure that I got that right. All right. So, y'all, we've had a really productive conversation. We've been on here a little over an hour, y'all. I really appreciate everyone who stopped, who spoke, who did leave some nuggets. Those who stuck it around. Ms. Washington, you really stuck it out with me all night long. Again, I know this is a unconventional night to have these type of conversations, but this conversation needed to happen, and I think I picked the best night of it all. All right. I'm not into all the marketing scheme of Valentine's Day. I'm not into all the things that happen, but what I am in is using this glorified day of love to get down to the heart of what we needed. We need to talk about unconditional love, and we need to talk about how to let jealousy go, which is a big effect on our love with others. So definitely enjoyed this conversation, y'all. If you missed the conversation, I do apologize that you missed it. I'm apologize that maybe today didn't work out for you, but definitely watch the live, y'all. Share the live because there are a lot of nuggets from our conversationalists, from people who left us nuggets, even from myself, who could really help us grow and to deal with those issues, those emotional issues, those relationship issues, those love issues. All right. Those 11 tips from those psychologists, the 17 ways to show your unconditional love. Those were just a few ways of and things that we could do to help ourselves and start with the base of getting ourselves back on track with unconditional love and releasing ourselves or relinquishing ourselves of jealousy and jealous tendencies. It's been a wonderful night, y'all. I appreciate you. I missed y'all so much. I hadn't been able to talk with you not much this year, but don't worry, we will be coming back with more good topics. And I look forward to growing this panel. I look forward to having people come on board. I'm looking forward to discovering more topics and more about ourselves as we go through this year. Again, this is the Weigh In, and I am B. Bankshaw. I appreciate you for spending your moments, your precious time with me, and I hope that we can spend many more moments and time together. So if you have not been able to see this video, make sure if you go to my Facebook page, you get on my Facebook. Now, my Facebook has a lot of stuff going on, but I'm learning eventually to branch all of these things off into separate groups and pages. You too, thank you so much. But I'm going to definitely do some of that. But what I do want to do is my YouTube page is UC Dance. My YouTube page is UC Dance. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube page, y'all, so that way when I do go live and do these, I definitely want you to hit the notification bell so that you can get more notifications, y'all, because I'm going to be bringing you more conversations like this. This is what we need to do as a people, is have these conversations and interact and understand and learn and grow from each other. Doesn't mean we're going to always agree, but what it does mean is that we're going to learn and take those nuggets, because we all walk a different part of life, and we may not be where this person is, but as we continue to walk, we may get there one day, okay? Or we may have already been there and we want to help the next person growing. So we continue to talk and share those nuggets, we'll definitely reach that point. I appreciate you all for coming live, y'all. This has been the Weigh In, and our topic again tonight was my love does not cost a thing. My jealousy does. Thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.